the devotees are there in the temple, or it is on the Zoom they are,
Yeah,
they
YouTube.
listen on YouTube. Oh, okay. Okay then. Om Agyanam Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam tam sajivam advaitam savadhutam parijana sahitam Krishna chaitanya devam Shri Radha Krishna padan sahagana lalita Shri Vishakhan vitam sa He Krishna karuna sindhu Deenabandhu jagatpate Gopesha gopika kanta radha kanta namastute तप्त कांचन गौरंगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो
একটু
विष्णु
কম্পিউটারটা আগে টেনে নাও, কম্পিউটারটা একেবারে দেখাই যাচ্ছে না।
श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामी नीति
কম্পিউটার একটু কাছে নাও না, মুখটা
पदाय
দেখাই যায় না एकेबारे। কি
जय श्री कृष्ण विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण
না,
प्रस्ताव
আরো খারাপ হয়ে গেল।
भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नीति नामिने नमस्ते शक्ति देवी गौरवाणी
You come
प्रचारे
closer or something. You can't see your face even.
देश तारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे I don't know what is wrong here.
Nothing is wrong. You have to just position the computer.
I
That's all.
have
No,
I did.
you can't. Why are you so far away from the computer? Your
I'm very
just
close.
face can't be hardly seen. Yeah,
Uh,
now it is better. And
okay.
stay in the middle. Don't go to the right or left side.
Hare
Extreme right,
Krishna.
left.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so welcome everyone to our Bhagavatam Zoom class. So we have the topics for this last week, from last week, and there is a continuation of the topics, discussion topics. So now we are the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam was the last, I guess, was from third chapter. We discussed the glories of, and then oh no, we had several of them. Okay, okay, we had up to a preacher has no business with householders except to enlighten them. That was done, and today I am going to take because Parikshit Maharaj was a pious king. His kingdom was full of prosperity as well as shelter for all, where no slaughterhouses were allowed. That question, and then different qualifications of the Brahmanas and the Parivarjakacharyas. And then the third one is divisions of the Vedas. So I'm going to touch all these points from here for the discussion. So first one is Parikshit Maharaj. That is Parikshit. Regarding Parikshit Maharaj, we have fourth chapter, Canto 1, fourth chapter, 11 and 12. नमान्ति यत् पादनिकेतम् आत्मना शिवाय हनीयं धनानि सत्रवम् कथं सवीरा श्रियम् अङ्गदुष्टयजम् युवेशतोत्स्रस्तुम् अहोष सहासुभिः. So translation here by Srila Prabhupada. He was such a great emperor that all his enemies would come and bow down at his feet and surrender all their wealth for their own benefit. He was full of youth and strength, and he possessed insuperable kingly opulences. Why did he want to give up everything, including his life? Actually, this is the questions, further questions that were asked by Shaunaka Rishi. He was heading leader of the sages. So, on behalf of the sages, he was asking that Maharaj Parikshit, he was in such a opulent condition. His birth was so glorious, and it's not that he was not getting any taxes or anything. Why did he want to give up everything, including his life? So we know Parikshit Maharaj, he had 7 days, 7 days to live on this earth because he was cursed by Shringi. Now we are seeing that Sutta Goswami is answering the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya. Now we are discussing here Parikshit Maharaj. He was a pious king. He was a pious king. So what does that mean, pious king? He had conquered. He was a pious king, means everything he was doing was for the welfare of the people. He was not self-motivated because in those days the king was supposed to not just keep the citizen properly, maintain them properly. The people, they were not just sitting idle. They used to also work for the king. They were well educated regarding their work, because the leader, that is the king, was very much knowledgeable as far as and he was also a devotee. Parikshit Maharaj was also a devotee of the Lord. So no matter what he did was for the welfare of the people. So he was in this day and age, we are seeing there is so much crisis. Why? Because people are not following, the leaders of the society are not well equipped. The qualification of the leaders are like the Sudras, they are on the seat of politician. They don't know what is good for themselves and for the public. But here Parikshit Maharaj, he used to guide his subjects. Mainly the main intention of the king was to take his subjects back to, guide them to go back to Godhead. That was the kingdom of God. So he he had so much opulence. Even the enemies, the enemies used to come and fall at his feet, because they know that if they are going to be against him, he was a very powerful emperor. He was a samrat of the whole world. In those days, it was not just this country, that country. It was considered one nation, one country, one world. There was no division of countries and world. With one world, no division of countries in it. The Samrat used to take care of the entire citizen. We have to understand how powerful they were. They were so knowledgeable. They were knowledgeable in scriptures. They were knowledgeable in everything. How to do agriculture, and how to, herd the cows. So there was lot of opulence. When there is no ugra karma is sinful activities are not there, then the world is prosperous in every way. We don't have any crisis. Now we see so much of crisis in this world. Why? Because nobody is following the path of actual religion, that is loving Krishna, and they are very selfishly living their life. The science of Krishna consciousness is that it teaches us how to lead our life. It's a science. Science means how we, like we do Ekadasi, we follow 4 regulative principle. This is a science. It's not a religion. It's a science. This is good for us. It is good, means for the benefit of us. All these scriptures are given, like Srila Prabhupada gave us this 4 regulative principle. For what? For our own benefit. So that we live a healthy and a normal, healthy mental life also. In every way, we are, like, people might think that, if we take to Krishna consciousness, we are going to lose our wealth. No, that's not the thing. We are saying that our Acharya, founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada established ISKCON, and we are seeing worldwide how happy the devotees are. Every 6 times a day in the temple, there are services going on. No crisis of prasadam, everything is there. So this was this actually the Swarna Jug, the golden age has again come. And Prabhupada said this 10,000 years is a golden age. So we should take advantage of this. And here we see that there was, it was shelter for all. So he was not just thinking of human being, Parikshit Maharaj, of all the living entity, whether it is a tree, whether it is an animal, everything, everybody was taken care. He did not allow the cow slaughtering, because mother cow is give us milk which nourishes our body, and we get nice fine brain tissues. Milk is total nutrition. Nowadays they mix so many things in the milk, so it's adulterated, it's not very pure. But some places we can still get pure milk. So milk was the main thing. So cows were not unnecessarily, they were not killed, because there was no killing of cows. Natural death, that's it. Nowadays the young cows, the calves, everything, the slaughter, for for their uh, taste of their tongue, they are killing the animals. You know, I don't know what kind of taste they get, but it's a horrible thing to kill animal and eat bones and blood, which is just washed and cooked. I have no idea, but some people enjoy, so that shows they are pretty ignorant of their existence. The killing of animal and eating them is ignorant of their existence. They do not understand. Okay, then we have the cows were given shelter. So everybody was given shelter in his kingdom. And Kali came, we know from a few verses before in this chapter, the Kali came and it was chastising the cow. So we will see in the 17th chapter of this how the Kali came disguised. He came disguised as a king and he was chastising the bull and the cow. And there it is signifying that the bull is the that bull was being, his legs were uh, hampered, like, because the bull was representing dharma and the cow was the dhatriya, that is the earth, and she was crying, seeing all these things. So in Satyug we had the four pillars of religion. We have mercy, socham, austerity, and truthfulness. So now in Kali Yuga, the religion is standing on one leg, that is truthfulness. So we see that at that time human beings need not eat animal because there was ample food, fruits, vegetable, everything was there. So here we have completed this. Now I'm going to the second topic, different qualifications of the Brahmanas and the Parivarjakacharyas. That is 13. Text number 13. Tat sarvam na samachakshva pristo yad iha kinchana manyatvam vishaye vacham snatam manyatra chandasad. So here the topic is different qualifications of Brahmanas and the Parivarjakacharya. So if you go to the 13th verse, you see in the translation, we know that you are expert in the meaning of all subjects except some portions of Vedas, and thus you can clearly explain the answers to all the questions we have just put to you. So who is saying this? The sages headed by Shaunak Rishi. Shaunak Rishi is saying, Sutta Goswami, you know everything. You're expert in the meaning of all subjects, except for some portion of Vedas. Means he did not perform all these mantras, Vedic mantras and all that. There was no need for him to do that because they were well versed in the Puranas, and he wanted to he's like a Parivarjakacharya. Parivarjakacharya means the one who is going and preaching everywhere, like a mendicant. So Vedas are okay. Vedas. So here we see they are saying you can you can explain to us? Because he had that knowledge, complete knowledge, Suta Goswami. How did he get that realized knowledge? Because he heard it with rapt attention from Shukdev Goswami. So it was not that he was just fooling around and not listening properly. When we hear with rapt attention, the knowledge is very nicely transmitted in our head. This dull brain cannot understand so many things. But the only thing that is like Shravanam is the first thing of the Navada Bhakti. So the first stage is Shravanam. Shravanam means hearing. How that hearing should be? Attentive hearing. Not that, oh, okay, I want to hear this part, not the other part. Then you won't get the essence of what the speaker is saying. So when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, it is coming from the book Bhagavat. So it's something that we have to understand, and we can assimilate, and then we can also get some realization from the purports that are given by Srila Prabhupada. So here, the Vedas and Purana is like that between the Brahmanas and Parivarjakacharyas. The Brahmanas are meant to administer. So the Vedic rituals, who are doing these Vedic mantras and all? The Brahmanas. And so here the Vedas, the Brahmanas and Parivarjakacarya, they are the qualifications of Brahmanas are, they know the Vedas very by heart, they know the mantras, they know the meters. Meters means how it has to be sung, the chandam, how it should be said in a poetic way, or portions of the Vedas. They know, they are expert, the Brahmanas. But that does not mean the Parivarjakacharya are meant to disseminate transcendental knowledge to one and all. The Brahmanas are okay. They are meant to administer some fruitive sacrifices mentioned in Vedas. So the Vedas are dealing with what? This fruitive karma khandi. Karma khanda is the thing that you do you work, the religious work, the demigod worshippers, they go to the higher planet, Swargalok and all. So the motive is to get something out of the pious activity of the Vedas. That is what is the Brahmanas. They are doing this fruitive sacrifice. They do the yagya for the getting something out of it. But Parivarjakacharya, they are giving transcendental knowledge. And what is that? The knowledge that brings us close to Krishna, to God, Bhagavan, and we can have a loving relationship with him. We have a good samandha, and we understand our existence as a living being, that our duty is to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. So the Parivarjakacharya, they are going and broadcasting this transcendental knowledge. So here we see that Parivarjakacharya are not always expert in pronouncing the Vedic mantras, which are practiced systematically by accent and meter by Brahmanas who are meant for administrating Vedic rites. The Brahmanas, they have this qualification, and the Parivarjakacharya qualification is they have the transcendental knowledge of the Vedas. They are like Paramahansa, so they just extract the Vedic rituals are there. So they are not interested in the Vedic rituals. The Parivarjakacharyas, their intention is to just take the essence of the Vedas. that how we can connect to the Lord and become spiritualized. So Vedas, all they give us both material and spiritual life, but how we can purify our work through the Vedas. But people, what they do when they start all this yagya for having a better material life, opulent life, then they get too caught up with the Vedic ritualistic thing. So there is no difference between the Vedic mantras and what is explained in Puranas and Itihas. Actually, people, if they try to learn the Vedic mantras properly, they will find out that they are not different from what is said in the Puranas and Itihas. According to Jiva Goswami, it is mentioned in the Madhyandina Shruti that all the Vedas, namely the Samaved, Atharva Ved, Rig Ved, Yajurved, Puranas, Itihas, Upanishads, etc., are emanation from breathing of Supreme Being. And the only difference is that Vedic mantras are mostly begun with pranav, omkar, and it requires some training to practice the metric pronunciation, but that does not mean Srimad Bhagavatam was less important than the Vedic mantra. On the other hand, Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of all the Vedas, as stated before, that besides that, the most perfectly liberated soul, Sri Shukdev Goswami, is observed in studies of Bhagavatam, although he is already self-realized. So, Vedic mantras, which depends more on practice than actual realization, and realization is more important than parrot-like chanting, Prabhupada says. So Vedic mantras are okay. The people those who are going to get attached to that, slowly they will come. But the realization is more important. So to realize the Vedas is more important than just chanting the mantras. You know, the Vedic mantras, there are some expert who chant the mantras so nicely, but they don't have any realization of the mantras they are chanting. We see in the Durga Pujas and all that, they chant very beautifully. Narayani Namastute, but they cannot explain to the public who is Narayani Namastute, who is she. They cannot, because they are expert in chanting the mantras, but they cannot make the people understand. So we should not get into all those mantra chanting just by not understanding the meaning of it. So now we have got divisions of the Vedas. That's the last topic I'm going to go for. So that is from 19 to 24. If you all have the Srimad Bhagavatam, so please take out your, from verse number 19 to, so why the Vedas? Okay, the Vedas, why they were divided. First of all, the division of Vedas. Vyasadeva, he had written this, compiled these 4 Vedas so that people can follow the Vedas and purify their occupation. Whatever work they are doing, follow the injunctions of the Vedas. So he divided one Veda into 4 in order to expand them. So the Yajur Veda, he divided it into four Vedas. There was only one Veda, Yajur Veda. But what did Vyasadeva do? He divided it into four Vedas, because the people of he could see the people that are going to come in Kali Yuga, like me, they are not going to be very intelligent. So they have to go through the four Vedas he divided, because the people are less intelligent, they are full of anxiety, and because of anxiety and not properly doing their work, their lifespan also becomes short, so they are we have already read about the people in Kali Yuga, what will be their condition. They are going to be short lived, less intelligent, and uh, they will be unlucky, disturbed. So that's why, like we have in the first chapter of this canto, that in this age of iron age of Kali, people are short lived, they are quarrelsome. Can you imagine? People are quarreling just like animals. So the Vedas, he came up with four Vedas, and then he also compiled the fifth Veda, that is Mahabharata, because for the Shudras, labor class, the women, the fifth Veda was also there. There are Puranas, the Mahabharatas, Samhitas, etc., which are known as the fifth Vedas. Sri Vyasadeva and his many disciples were all historical personalities, and they were very kind and sympathetic toward the fallen souls of this age of Kali. As such, Puranas and Mahabharata were made from related historical facts which explained the teachings of four Vedas. There is no, see, this Mahabharata and all, they are like historical facts, itihas, some story type, because in Kali Yuga, people cannot concentrate very much. When you have a Mahabharata movie going on, they can concentrate. Oh, nice, they understand. So all these Mahabharata and all, they made these serials. At least people are understanding who are the characters in Mahabharata, why Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. So at least they are getting some education. So there is no point in doubting the authority of Puranas and Mahabharata as parts and parcels of Vedas. So they are not any different from the Vedas, but they are part and parcels. In a history way, in story type, they are the Puranas and Mahabharata. Like in Puranas, we have all this historic way of, when this happened, all these stories are there. Generally known as histories are mentioned as the fifth Vedas. Jiva Goswami, according to him, that is a way of ascertaining the respective value of the revealed scriptures. And then we have the four divisions of original sources of knowledge. The Vedas were made separately, but the historical facts and authentic stories mentioned in the Puranas are called the fifth Veda. After the Vedas were divided into four divisions, and now who are the in charge, the professors of these four Vedas? Pailya Rishi became the professor of Rig Veda. Jaimini was the professor of Samaveda. And Vyasampayan became glorified by the Yajurveda. The different Vedas were entrusted to different learned scholars for development in various ways. The Sumanta Muni, Angira, who was very devotedly engaged, was entrusted with Atharva Veda. So we see now the professors of these four Vedas. So Pailya Rishi was Rig Veda's professor, Jaimini was for Samaved, and for Yajurved was Vaisampayan, and Shumantu Muni was Muni Angira, who was entrusted with the Atharva Veda. So in the Shruti mantra also it is stated that Angira Muni, who strictly followed the rigid principle of Atharva Veda, was the leader of the follower of. These are just talking about these professors of the Vedas. Now we go to the 23 verse. All these learned scholars in their turn rendered their entrusted Vedas unto their many disciples. So they did not keep the scholars, the professors of these Vedas, they handed it over to their disciples, and from there to the grand disciples, and then to the great grand disciples. And thus the respective branches of followers of Vedas came into being. So the branches of Vedas came. Okay. They started writing about different way of the branches means they divided to simplify the understanding of the what is Rig Veda. So from there again the professors nicely they were making people understand. And here we see like in Krishna consciousness, in International Society of Krishna Consciousness, we have Srila Prabhupada as the founder Acharya here. So he is representing the previous Acharya. Okay. On the altar we have Srila Prabhupada, we have Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and Gaur-Kishore Das Goswami Maharaj. Like that we have the parampara is there. So similarly, this Srila Prabhupada, what he has got from the previous Acharya, he compiled this, translated with purpose for our better understanding of this Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion. All these books were given. He took lot of strain and koto kashto sohe, mane so much pain he took to write these books. For whom? For us, so that we understand the value of this human life. And from him his disciples came, like we got initiated in ISKCON. So if somebody was not fortunate to see Srila Prabhupada or could not get, but his parampara is there. So we got initiated by his disciples, and then his disciples now are going to get the other disciples well equipped for transmitting this knowledge. So it comes from parampara. So Vedic knowledge, in other words, Vedic knowledge broken into different branches by different disciplic successions has been distributed all over the world. No one therefore can claim independent knowledge beyond the Vedas. So we don't the Vedic, we cannot say that we have found something other than what is there in Vedic knowledge. Nothing is independent of the Vedic knowledge. Anything we go to see in the spiritual life, it is all coming from the Vedic knowledge. And then we have the great sage Vyasadeva, who is very kind to the ignorant masses, edited the Vedas so they might be assimilated by less intelligent men. So, as I had already mentioned, for the people in this age of Kali, he could foresee that they will be very less intelligent. They won't have that capacity of understanding the Vedas. That is the reason it was divided into four. Fifth Vedas also came like that. The stricture has been wrongly interpreted in so many ways. A class of men who claim Brahminical qualification simply by their birthright in family of Brahmanas claim that the study of Vedas is monopoly of Brahman caste only. But this is very wrong. Vedas are for everyone, because there are no Brahmin caste anymore, in this Kali Yuga. The Brahmins are not there. The first class Brahmins, the Vaishnavas are also not there. So Srila Prabhupada has started this movement to make the Brahmins and Vaishnavas. So we see through them we can understand this Vedic knowledge. We can Vedas means knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, that is what the Vedas, that is the subject matter. But persons who are in mode of passion and ignorance are unable to understand the subject matter of Vedas. So, in Kali Yuga, goodness is not there only. In Satya Yuga, there was goodness. People they had this sattvic, they were sattvic quality was there. And in next yugas, the passion and ignorance was more dominating. And then came the Kali Yuga, where people are very ignorant actually. So ultimately, goal of Vedic knowledge is Sri Krishna. This personality in Satya Yuga, everyone was situated. Treta in goodness. Treta Yuga, there was a decline in the goodness, and the general mass of people became corrupt. So this is what is here, and then let me see, we still have time. I will take one which I had prepared actually. I'll take one of the topic here. No one can claim independent knowledge beyond the Vedas. Okay, because Vedas are teaching everything. So it's not that somebody is discovering their own things. They have to relate to Vedas for the spiritual life, or even the material karma khanda life. Now the Dvija Bandhus are born in higher caste but aren't qualified like their forefathers. So what is that? So here, out of compassion, the great sage, though it is wise that this would enable man to achieve ultimate goal of life, thus he compiled the great for women, labor, and okay. So Dvija Bandhu, they are not qualified Brahmanas. Dvija Bandhus are the one. They are not qualified as the Brahmanas like their forefathers. So this is the degradation of this age. The Brahmins, maybe they are born in the Brahmin family, but they don't have the qualification. I think we have a good example of Ashwatthama. He didn't have the qualification of a Brahmana, even though he was a son of a Brahmana. Dronacharya, he killed these people without even killed the Pandavas' children without even understanding what he was doing. So this is what is Dvija. The the father, if the father and mother do not undertake the process of spiritual family planning and simply beget children out of passion only, their children are called Dvija Bandhus. These Dvija Bandhu are certainly not as intelligent as the children of regular twice born families. The Dvija Bandhus are classified as Sudras and the women class, who are by nature less intelligent. The Sudras and women class do not have to undergo any samskar save and accept the ceremony of marriage. So we see they don't have family planning, means no garbhadana sanskar. So just begetting children, out of passion only. They no sanskara followed, because the sanskara is the garbhadan sanskara before giving birth to the children it's a purificatory process. So it means the children born are going to become pure, and they will have goodness in them. They will become devotees. That is the main purpose of Garbhadan Sanskar, that they become God conscious. So Dvija Bandhus are the one that they are not qualified, because they are not born from parents those who are following any kind of spiritual life. And then we have here so overlapping of Sukdev's external appearance and demeanor. So we see Sukdev Goswami. This is on text number verse 4. So if you can go back to the number 4 shloka. So here we see Sukdev's external appearance and demeanor. So he's Tasya Putra Mahayogi Samadrin Nirvikalpaka Ekanta Matri Andiro Gudho Mudha Eva Yate. His son, Vyasadev's son, was a great devotee and equibalanced monist, whose mind was always concentrated in monism. He was not ignorant, but was transcendental to mundane activities. So, Shukdev Goswami was a liberated soul, as we have already read about it. But his outside appearance was just like a mad person. He was like a mad person, seemed like he did not know anything, and he didn't have clothes on him, because people don't understand a self-realized person, but the sadhus, the sages, they could understand that he is a self-realized soul. And he was like a he didn't care for any um, formalities of this world. He just was, when he came out of the womb of his mother, he just walked out and he started walking because he was so disgusted with the material world that he did not want to be caught up again in the material aspect of existence. He was a liberated soul. He was a monist. That does not mean he was just nirvisheshvadi. No. Later on, he pursued his spiritual life. So he was, because he was a he wanted to um, understand what is this. He heard from his father Vyasadev about Srimad Bhagavatam, and he wanted to understand about what is this life about. So he was liberated soul, but Vyasadev told him to come back, and he wanted his son Shukdev Goswami to narrate the Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because Shukdev Goswami had heard it in the womb of his mother, and he could explain Srimad Bhagavatam with exact meaning and understanding, because he was a self-realized person, and he realized the essence of Bhagavatam. It was not just he heard, he also had realized it properly. And now we go to the next question is discussion is overlapping of the 28 round of the 4 millenniums. That is text number 14, and I will end over there. Okay, so what is this overlapping of the 28 round of the 4 millennium? So if you go to 14th verse, you will see what what is Suta Goswami saying here. Suta uvacha dvaparasa manu prapte trite yuga paryaye jataparasarad yogi savyam kalaya hare. Suta Goswami said, when the second millennium overlapped the third, the great sage Vyasadeva was born to Parasara in the womb of Satyavati, the daughter of Vasu. There is a chronological order of 4 millenniums, namely Satyayug, Dwaparayug, Tretayug, and Kaliyug. But sometimes there is overlapping. So during the regime of Vyavasvata Munu, there was an overlapping of the 28 round of 4 millennium, and the third millennium appeared prior to the second. In that particular millennium, Lord Sri Krishna also descends, and because of this, there was some particular alteration. And the mother of great sage Satyavati, the daughter of Vasu, and the father was the great Parasara Muni. This is the history of Vyasadev's birth. Every millennium is divided into 3 periods, and each period is called a Sandhya. Vyasadeva appeared in the third Sandhya of that particular age. So now we go, there is a detailed explanation, but I will say in short, maybe continue in my next class. Here See, chronologically means natural order is that Satyug, then comes the second Yug, Dwapara, then Treta and Kali Yug. Okay, four Yuga. But now we see that here the overlapping of the 28th round of the 4 millennium. So means there is a overlapping of the 28 overlapping of 28 round of 4 millennium. So one in 4 millennium there are this cycle of 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. So what is the Sandhya here? So when the next yuga starts, the conjunction between the starting of that yuga and the last 10% of the previous yuga, that is called the Sandhya. So during this time, why it got overlapped? Why did Treta Yuga come before Dwapara Yuga? Because Krishna was supposed to descend. He was supposed to appear, and that's why this alteration was done. And in that Sandhya, Vyasadeva also appeared. And he was the son of Satyavati, the fisherman's daughter, and Parasara Muni. So Vyasadev's father, Parasara Muni, was... so this is how we see Vyasadev's birth. So we see Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma. The life of Brahma is 100 years, which material calculation is what? 100 years is 311 trillion years, 311.4 trillion years. And Kalpa is days of Brahma. And day of Brahma, there is 4.32 billion years in one day of Brahma. So, and there 14 Manus, 14 Manus come, and then 15 Sandhyas are there. So you can say the Sandhya is a time like Mangalarati. We do the Gayatri mantra. Okay, it is not pitch dark at that time. It's not pitch dark, means it's not night, or it is not even the daylight has not come up exactly. So that time, that is the Sandhya. That is where when we chant the Gayatri mantra. So the Brahmaji's lifespan is very, very long, but the Shri Krishna descends in one day of Brahma, and we see how we are so fortunate that the Krishna came 5,000 years ago in this 28th round of 4 millenniums, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was here 539 years ago. So we are fortunate, we are very fortunate that we are getting to know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this yuga, Kali Yuga. So let's take the advantage of the Harinam Sankirtan and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and make our life successful. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so I guess we are done here. Any questions? Any comment? Any question?
Uh, you mentioned about this Dvija Bandhu.
Yes.
So can you please explain to us this Dvija Bandhu? Why we call them Dvija Bandhu? So why we call an individual Dvija Bandhu?
Dvija Bandhu means they are not qualified. Which text was there? Dvija Bandhu is the one they are not, their birth is not properly taken. Which text was that? Dvija Bandhu, which text was that?
Uh,
Dvija Bandhu are born in higher caste but aren't qualified like their forefathers. Here, they might be born in Brahmin family, but they don't have qualification. Like Jagai Madai, they were born in Brahmin family, but they did not have the qualification of a Brahmana.
I think
That's why they are called Dvija Bandhu.
what
Means
about this?
they are not Brahmanas.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
I think it is mentioned also, if I'm not mistaken, that one is born by the first birth is from the father and mother,
Yes.
and the second birth is from the spiritual master.
Yes.
So that does not qualify the person to become a. We are talking about actually Brahmins,
Yes.
Dvijabandhu.
Yes.
So it is not
Dvija Bandhu,
it's not Kulagata, it's Gunagata.
yeah. The
What does
Dvija
Kulagata
Bandhus
mean?
are here in the text, verse number, I think it is 25. It said the Dvija Bandhus are classified as Sudras and the woman class who are by nature less intelligent.
Okay.
And also,
Dvijabandhu,
yeah, that
if
is
you are
one.
born in a Brahmin family, does not mean you have become a Brahmin
Right, qualified.
automatically.
That is also one explanation. And also the Vijabandhu is classified as Shudra. That is another explanation. Means they don't have the qualification of Brahmins. They are having the qualification of Sudra. That is known as Dvijabandhu.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Can we get some more explanation later on about this Treta Yuga and Dwapar Yuga? Why it is one before the other?
Yeah, because Krishna appeared, and that was one reason. And the also that is the reason it is given here.
No, I'm talking about
Overlapping means your the Treta Yuga came before the Dwapara Yuga. Chronologically, natural order is that Dwapara Yuga, the second Yuga should be Dwapara Yuga, but it didn't come like that because there was Krishna was supposed to come in that, because there was lot of disturbance. People were very degraded, and he plans to come when during the time, this 5,000 years. See, he came in the end of the Dwapara Yuga also. Krishna came. So as we have read that, see, you will find it in the 14th verse. That is what I understand here from the 14th verse. The 28th round of the 4 millennium. There are like 70 cycles are there, 71, 72 cycles are there. But when Divya Yug, the the cycle of the yugas 1,000 times. So end of Dwapara Yuga of 28 Divya Yuga, Lord Krishna appears.
Mhm.
That is what it is stated here.
Okay. Thank you for the nice class. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Anybody, doesn't look like anybody has any question. Hare Krishna.
Who is this
Okay,
Sanjana Prasad? Sanjana Prasad?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हाँ, हरे कृष्णा माता जी, हरि बोल, हरि बोल। आप तो हमेशा सुनते हो।
हाँ प्रभु जी सुनती हूँ, मगर क्या ना, मैं उतना इंग्लिश नहीं समझती हूँ ना।
नहीं नहीं, कोई नहीं। वो अपना वो लड़की को, छोटे माता जी को अपने पास रखना कभी कभी, तो वो बता देगी।
तो उन लोग चली जाती है प्रभु जी, संडे को
हाँ,
8
क्लास।
8 बजे स्कूल चली जाती है।
हाँ हाँ हाँ। हम अभी बोलेंगे उन लोग को रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए, तो आप बाद में जब भी सुनेगी तो आपको बता सकती है।
हाँ रिकॉर्डिंग होता है प्रभु जी, यूट्यूब में देखती है।
अच्छा, तो उनको बोलना है कभी देखने के लिए, और आपको बताएगा थोड़ा।
आपका
वेरी
आपके
गुड,
लिए
वेरी गुड।
उधर हिंदी क्लास नहीं है? हिंदी
हाँ
हिंदी
है।
में हाँ, तो ये अंग्रेजी अगर आपको सुविधा नहीं होता है तो आप हिंदी क्लास ज्वाइन
नहीं
कर
नहीं,
सकते।
बट शी इज ट्राइंग टू लर्न इंग्लिश।
ओके, ठीक है, ठीक
डोंट
है।
डिस्करेज हर, शी इज ऑलवेज कमिंग।
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, वेरी
हाँ,
गुड।
आप तो हमेशा आते हो। आना,
हाँ
आते रहना माता जी। आप समझ जाओगे बाद में, ऐसा ऐसा सब समझ जाओगे।
जी प्रभु जी।
ठीक है, बढ़िया बढ़िया।
थोड़ा अभ्यास
हाँ
करने का और थोड़ा सुनने का, और क्या है, धीरे धीरे सब कुछ आ जाएगा।
असल
हाँ,
में हम लोग
बिल्कुल।
गाँव से है तो प्रभु जी, हम लोग का बस ज्यादा पढ़ाई नहीं किए ना, 10th
नहीं नहीं,
पास
कोई
करने के बाद।
नहीं, ऐसा मत बोलिए। आप लोग सब समझते हैं। ये ये आप लाइन में हैं, अभी भक्ति लाइन में हैं, तो बस और कुछ नहीं चाहिए। इसमें
बस
जुड़ा रहना,
बिल्कुल
यही
प्रभु जी।
बस सब ऐसा
ज्यादा
ऐसा आ जाएगा। आप
ज्यादा
लोग तो
पढ़ाई का कोई
बहुत डेडिकेटेड है, आप लोग सब।
ज्यादा पढ़ाई
वेरी
का
गुड।
कोई नहीं है। अ,
हाँ, सिर्फ सुनते जाना, सुनते जाना।
और
जी
थोड़ा
प्रभु।
श्रवण में।
धीरे 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 आगाना चाहिए, क्योंकि जल्दी जल्दी करने से कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है। तो धीरे धीरे सब कुछ करने से टाइम लगेगा थोड़ा, बट क्या बोल रहे हैं उसका तात्पर्य जो आपको मालूम पड़ेगा थोड़ा बहुत। नहीं तो जल्दी करने से वो कुछ भी नहीं मालूम पड़ता है। तो धीरे धीरे ही सब कुछ समझने का
होगा ना।
कोशिश करने से अच्छा है। जो आप अंग्रेजी में सुन रहे हैं, अंग्रेजी सीख रहे हैं, अच्छा है। क्योंकि हमारा ये सोसाइटी इंटरनेशनल है ना, इन इस्कॉन, इस्कॉन इंटरनेशनल है। सब भाषा अगर जान सकेंगे तो बहुत ही अच्छा होता है, थोड़ा थोड़ा।
थोड़ा तो।
ठीक है, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा।
हमारा बेटा का शादी हो गया ठीक ठाक। और वो जो आपने प्रभु ने दिया था पाँव के लिए नूपुर,
हो गया प्रभु
बहुत
जी
अच्छा
उसका।
था,
अच्छा।
बहुत अच्छा लगा। ठीक है, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
बस सेवा दीजिएगा प्रभु जी, ऐसा कुछ जरूर हम लोग
हाँ,
करेंगे।
आप लोग भी रखिएगा, कृपा रखिएगा हमारे लिए। हम लोग तो इतना दूर रहते हैं, तो दिल तो चाहता है, मन तो करता है कि आज चले जाए आप लोग से मिल जाके, लेकिन हो नहीं, होता नहीं है। ठीक है, कभी आएंगे तो मिलेंगे फिर।
आइए आइएगा प्रभु जी, जरूर।
जरूर आएंगे। ठीक है, और बाकी घर वाले सब ठीक है?
हाँ सभी अच्छे हैं प्रभु जी।
प्रभु का
अच्छा,
टाइम
ओके।
हो गया है अभी, टाइम हो गया है देश जाने का। बहुत
आप भी
बहुत
चले
महीना
आइएगा
हो
माता
गया।
जी, आप भी आ
हाँ,
जाइएगा माता
कार्तिक
जी।
कार्तिक में आने का कोशिश करेंगे,
हम
कार्तिक।
हम नहीं ज्यादा ट्रैवल करते हैं, हम ट्रैवल नहीं करते ज्यादा, क्योंकि हमारा यहाँ पर प्रचार है। हमारा यहाँ पर कैरलटन में यहाँ पर हम लोग शुक्र शनिवार को यहाँ पर हम लोग यहाँ पर हम लोग बोलते हैं यहाँ पर। तो
प्रोग्राम होता है वीकली। हाँ।
हाँ, हाँ वीकली है इधर, वीकली है, फिर कतार का साथ हम लोग का जूम में है। तो ऐसा
माता जी, आपका भक्ति बीट चल रहा है?
और भक्ति वृक्ष यहाँ पे हो रहा था प्रभु जी, उसके बाद बंद हो गया।
अच्छा, फिर
इस
से
बार
चालू करिए, फिर
ये
चालू करिए
रथ
कभी।
में बहुत सारी माता जी लोग का नंबर लिए थे। ऑनलाइन करवाते हैं, सिर्फ शनिवार को होता है, मतलब कोई आ नहीं पाता, ऑनलाइन करवा रहे हैं।
हाँ, वही 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 वही,
हाँ
ऑनलाइन
शनि,
कीजिए अभी।
हाँ सैटरडे
हाँ,
सैटरडे को न्यू न्यू जो
हाँ,
मेंबर उन लोग को लिए हुए हैं, उन लोग से करवाते हैं, कुछ है,
कभी
ज्यादा तो
कभी
नहीं।
महीना 2 महीने में एक टाइम घर में भी कर लेना।
करवाएंगे प्रभु जी, करवाएंगे, वही सोच
हाँ,
रहे हैं, हम
हाँ,
लोग भी सोच रहे हैं महीना
हाँ,
में एक
एक
दिन
महीने में
करवाएंगे।
एक टाइम करवा लीजिए,
हाँ हाँ हाँ, करवाएंगे।
क्योंकि सबके सामने सामना सामनी बात करेंगे तो अच्छा है। ठीक है,
ठीक है प्रभु जी।
प्रणाम।
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण।
कृष्ण।
हरे
आप लोग
कृष्ण।
तो बहुत फॉर्चुनेट है, बहुत लकी है, आप लोग देश में हैं। हम लोग को हम लोग तो ये विदेश में अभी विदेश में ज़्यादा मन नहीं लगता है, क्योंकि वो हेल्थ का थोड़ा समस्या होता है। अभी उम्र हो गया है ना, इंडिया में थोड़ा हेल्थ का प्रॉब्लम होता है,
हाँ माता जी।
स्पेशली मायापुर में बहुत तकलीफ होता है उधर। वहाँ पर पानी का व्यवस्था, हाँ हम लोग जैसे कल्याणी में पानी देकर जाते हैं, उधर तो कोई आता नहीं है घर के पास। और रेगुलर नहीं रहने से और टेम्पररी रहने से कोई आता नहीं है वहाँ पर, तो थोड़ा
हाँ
समस्या होता है उधर जाने
सारे
से।
कौन
हाँ,
सा, ले लो ले लो, कौन सा।
ठीक है वो तो भी इंडिया में जाने से मन अच्छा लगता है।
कहते हैं ना, भारत भूमि का एक अलग महत्व है।
हाँ, वहाँ का,
हाँ,
वहाँ पर उसका
चैतन्य महाप्रभु।
जितना भी गंदा है जो भी है, वहाँ पर हम लोग प्लेन से उतरते हैं तभी वहाँ का जो वातावरण, एक सुगंध, और सुगंध भारत भूमि का सुगंध, भारत भूमि नहीं, चैतन्य महाप्रभु का।
हम लोग भी
ठीक है,
पहले नहीं पहुंचे हैं।
आप लोग प्रसाद ले लीजिए। हाँ,
जी माता
हरे
जी।
कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण।
हरे
वांछा
कृष्ण।
कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यश्च।
अच्छा, कृपा सिंधु, पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः।